Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jerred Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. Jerred Moon here with Joe Courtney, Kyle Schrum, Ashley Hicks. How's it going, lady and gentlemen?
Hello.
Good.
Great.
Good.
So we have a new segment to the show. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yes.
In the Facebook group, I had a random idea and then instantaneous implementation. So Garage Gym Athlete Shoutouts. There are, we have athletes who come on and they kind of tell us what they're doing, and that's great. But there are a lot of people who have races coming up. They're doing cool challenges, pushing themselves, a lot of different things. And so I just want to highlight those people at the beginning of the podcast until we run out. And if you are doing something cool, then find the GGA shout out thread in the Facebook group or email us or whatever. If you're doing something cool, we'd love to highlight you just to really, highlight the community really, and maybe encourage you to do something cool. So today is longtime Garage Gym athlete, Dominic Decker. I know he's done this before, but he posted it. He is doing 300 training days in 1 year, and the minimum time to count a training session would be 20 minutes or more. So there you go, 300 training days. He's also doing Broken Arrow every month, specifically the first weekend Saturday of every month. And there you go.
You go, Dominic.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so go Dominic. That's awesome. We'll highlight more athletes, some of you right before your event maybe, and because some of you gave us dates and other things that you are doing. It's kind of a blend of people doing like events on a given day, and then some people doing like annual challenges like Murph and other things. So we'll get into those in later episodes. But today we are talking about the study, effect of resistance training to muscle failure versus non-failure on strength, hypertrophy, and muscle architecture in trained individuals. So do you need to lift to failure or not? Going to kind of answer that question today. Our topic is going to be our favorite ways to kill comfort. And then we will get into the workout, which happens to be Dominic Decker's once per month workout is Broken Arrow. So we'll be going over that. But before we get into the study, let's get updates. Joe, how's life?
Not great, Bob.
Not great. All right.
Nope. And I'll try not to rant too much on this one, but
Okay.
Lockdown protocols have started a little bit more here. And what that entailed was, base has their own rules. And so all around the island, the gym shutdowns. Okay, whatever, I don't care. I work out on base. But because of new guidelines on like federal land and stuff, they decided, oh, wait, we need to start wearing masks while working out.
No.
So that is a thing now. And I was highly pissed off about it. And I'm still pretty disgruntled about it. So now I will only be going to the gym once a week to just do some heavy lifting. Like today, all I did this week was heavy squats and heavy presses. Then I left. And that's all I'm going to be doing. I'm by once a week at the gym there, and then everything else I will be making up here, because working out with a mask is stupid. Even just lifting heavy, I felt
you show that gym, you leave angry.
Yeah, right. Don't get my $0 membership. So yeah, like just even all I was doing was our working sets or our lifting sets, and I just felt like breathing wasn't as good. And like, how when you go to lift and you take your big inhale to breathe and brace, my mask got sucked into my mouth when I did that. So I had to like spit it out and like, okay, now I still have to reset. I'm still holding this heavy barbell, and then I have to take a less of a big breath so that I don't swallow my mask and I can still brace and lift. So, yeah, not great, Bob.
Have you tried a one of those neck gaiters?
I don't know what that is.
It's like
It's
a
like
scarf bandana.
Yeah, it's
and
basically
you
like a
just pull it up.
sleeve goes over your head and you pull it over your nose.
Well, we already went over this. I can't wear bandanas.
It's not a bandana.
It's not a bandana.
It's not. It's like it's basically like a sleeve. It goes over your head and then.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about now. I don't know how that would go. I feel like that would just be a lot warmer around everything, the neck, the face.
I'm
It's
just trying to
definitely
help.
warmer.
Yeah.
Just sweat out more toxins. No big deal.
The one I have is like super thin, made of like moisture wicking material. It's not like a winter thing. Anyway,
I
I'm
bought
trying
mine
to,
for $3 at a gas station. So
yeah,
yeah,
I think mine was like
differences.
4 or 5 at Dick's Sporting Goods. So Tennessee's just worse than Texas. That's all we established there. Anyway,
time for that.
the reason I'm saying this is because I just went skiing a few weeks ago or months ago, whenever that was, last month, and I had, you wear something over your face when you ski most of the time anyway because it's super cold, and that thing was not made for winter, but did not bother me when I was breathing heavily during.
You should
harder
try it,
skiing.
Joe.
I'm just trying to help.
I might have to like cut off a sleeve from one of my Under Armour shirts I don't
No.
wear anymore or something.
no.
I don't know.
Here, I'll send you one via Amazon to your
There we
APO.
go.
Cool.
Wearing an actual sleeve, I don't think is going to work. It's going to be like super tight on your face.
That's true.
When's your
I didn't
birthday?
think-
This could
Just
be
send
your early
just send
birthday
a picture. You'd be like, this doesn't work at all.
Not till July. Yeah.
gift. Early birthday
Okay.
gift.
Well, I tried. Either way, if you just want to work out once a week, that's fine too.
Yeah, I just like being stubborn. I just do.
No.
What?
But I mean, I have bands and the vests here, and I just ordered something else that I'll go into once I actually get it. So, yeah,
Oh,
we'll
secrets.
make do.
Leave us
Yeah,
hanging.
secrets, just
All right.
teasers, just little tease.
Pulling a Jerred on us.
All right, I'm done. Kyle,
Oh, I
Go.
get to go. Perfect. My update, I got to have a boys' day with Carter on Saturday. Hannah and Hensley went shopping. I had no interest in doing that. So Carter and I went, and I took my bike. I got to get on my bike again, which I haven't been able to do in a long time. Took him to the park, and I rode my bike, and he rode his scooter, and we did a couple miles. I was proud of him.
That's awesome.
Did a couple miles on the scooter. He only ate the pavement once. So I was proud of that. We went to Academy first to get him a helmet because he didn't have one of those yet. So fortunately, good.
Did he get the
dad
helmet
move on that
before or
one, I
after?
guess. It was before. It was on the way there.
It was a
And
test
so,
run. That's it.
Yeah, it's on the way there. So yeah, he has this habit, even when he's walking or running, of not like watching where he's going. And so that translated to the scooter as well. And he hit something in the pathway and just did a little flip over the handlebars. He was good though. He got up, dusted it off. I laughed at him. We were cool. It's all good.
Nice.
Yeah.
As any good dad should.
I mean, he wasn't bleeding or broken, so we're good. Just get up and keep going. All right. That's my update. Cool stuff. Ashley.
My update is I saw my doc last week, and so I'm taking my workouts back a little bit. I've been a little baby about it, but it's okay. I'm working it in, so dialing it back, and I had more blood work and more tests. So I had blood work, and then I had to do this breath test actually this morning, and be fasted for it. And it's just trying to figure out what's going on, if something's going on in my small intestine. It's like small intestine bacteria overgrowth, SIBO is what it's called. And then I also did a GI map, which I won't go into the details of that, but I never want to do that again. Let's just, yeah.
Oh,
Anyways.
I know.
So it wasn't the pill camera.
No.
Okay.
It had to be done at home and then mailed off. So.
And then mailed off.
Yeah.
Well,
I think we all know what happened now.
Well,
I didn't go into details. I just that's the PG version. I might have texted Emily with the real stuff and was like, what is this?
That's
Anyways,
awesome.
working with a health coach. I'm going to actually have an appointment with her today. So we'll see what she says. But I kind of have my own ideas. And I think it's actually great and a testament to our workouts and Jerred and what he does, because I kind of have like a plan to go in and say, this is what I think I should do. What do you think? And kind of, I'll probably have to explain to her, like, hopefully not. Hopefully she's great, and we'll know like what zones are and stuff like that. Because I filled out like a little forum, and she was like, "We have a lot to chat about," and I was like, "We'll see."
You should just send her some links of our podcast. Like, hey, I'm going to need you to watch these so that we can talk about it and be on the same page when I come in.
Yeah. Just trying to mix it up, because yoga is great, but I feel like I need a little something else, a little something. But we'll see. Yeah, that's mine. Jerred, your turn.
What's funny is when I saw a physical therapist for my knee, I think that was last year, and she was like, okay, well, I might have to like be in charge of your programming, like fitness programming. And I was like, okay,
Nope.
well, I'll do some additional stuff you want. So that the next appointment I had, I brought my programming, like printed out. I was like, here's what I plan to do. And she's like, all right, that's fine. You can do that. It just, we need to add a few things here and there. And I was like, okay. Because, a lot of times we're working with people who don't have like much of a fitness routine, or if they do, it's arbitrary. And so they normally take it over completely. But normally when they see what we're doing, professionals are a little more on board with it. So hopefully that's the case for you as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I wrote out basically a week of what I would plan to do. So
awesome. Well, updates from me. I'm taking my own advice as well from last week's Killing Comfort little kickoff at the episode. I recently retested. This is like my surprise information I've been keeping secret. I retested my back squat and I retested my mile. So I got to a 465-pound back squat and a 5-minute, 21-second mile. Still not the fastest mile I've ran. That might be my max back squat. I don't even know anymore. It's either tied or it's a PR. I mean,
it's respectable.
I can't remember. Anyway,
respect.
But I really can't go any further, and I'm not quitting by any means, but every edge I gain here, every 10 pounds on the back squat or faster in the mile, like my lower back is just in significant pain. And then this weekend had a little mishap that just made it even worse. And so I'm going to not stop. I'm going to keep doing the programming. The two adjustments I'm going to make, I'm going to stop running and do all run programming on the Concept 2 erg bike. So just like double everything. So if it's run a mile on BCT, it would be bike 2 miles on the bike erg, which means I will most likely lose some absolute speed. Like I just won't be as fast, but I hope to keep enough, cardiorespiratory fitness by doing the same programming and everything that I, when I do come back to run, maybe hopefully I will only have gone to like, I don't know, 5:30 or 5:35, and I'll be able to make that time back quickly. We'll see. It's kind of experimental. And then back squatting, I'm going to continue to squat because that doesn't seem to actually bother my lower back. It does seem to be more of the running. But I'm going to go to more box squats, a lot more box squats and less full depth squats.
Smart.
And see what happens for at least the rest of this cycle. So that's about 6 more weeks. And that's what I'm going to do to make some adjustments. It's kind of frustrating because I feel like I can see the end. Like when I first started, I didn't know if this would even be possible. I'm like, I wasn't confident in myself whether or not it would be possible. Now I feel like I can see the end of the tunnel. I'm like, this might be doable. Like I might be able to knock this out. But now I feel like you see the end goal, but it's like, okay, we're going to take the scenic route though. I'm going to walk around the mountain and come back and then go there because like I said last week, the problem becomes a program. And I think if I push to it, I might end up with a very serious injury at like 495 or something stupid and still not be there. So I want to do things the right way and back off and see what happens. It might cost me some progress, but I got to do it. And that's my update. It was heavy.
I imagine.
It felt heavy, but it felt just as heavy as any max I've ever done.
Did you get it on video?
I do not have anything on video.
Didn't
Mm.
happen.
No,
Didn't happen.
it's actually all.
I mean,
This is all made up.
even when he videos, it's fake weight anyway. So
Yeah,
It's true.
That's
when
right.
what's funny is I did it on the weekend, and as you guys know, I don't carry a phone that has a camera on the weekend, and now my actual camera is a DSLR, or my DSLR camera I'm using as a webcam, like I'm using it for this podcast right now, and it's all set up and stuff. So I just like don't even want to touch it. So the chances of me videoing anything right now, very low, especially on
Have
a
a
weekend.
solution though. All you would have to do is, hey Emily, I'm about to do a PR. Do you mind videoing me? Because I know Emily has one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not a bad idea, but you have to use that sparingly around here. Okay.
Ah. Okay.
There were a lot of back in the days. Just grab a video real quick. Try and stay away from it. Just most of the time.
Okay.
All right, let's get into the study. So again, the title of the study was Effect of Resistance Training to Muscle Failure versus Non-Failure on Strength, Hypertrophy, and Muscle Architecture in Trained Individuals. So the researchers hypothesized that there would be no difference between training paradigms for any outcome measure. They're really just measuring leg-to-leg comparison between individuals who are fairly trained. It was 14 men, and they did leg press, leg extension, and then they did 10 weeks of training, and then they see which leg performed better. And that's about it. One leg was going to failure. One was stopping 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. And they just compared a bunch of different stuff, but ultimately jumped to the conclusion training to failure may not be as advantageous as people thought it would be. Stopping just shy of failure seems to be more beneficial, and I think it is beneficial for a lot of reasons, but we can get into those. What else? What do you guys have from the study? That was the quick breakdown.
I'm going to start with a question to everybody.
Here we go.
If you guys were asked, I guess for study purposes, to do a 10-week training to where your legs are doing not the same program, would you do it?
No, I think we just covered this in our last one, right? With the but it was only
That was
3
like
days.
3 days. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I absolutely would not do that.
Yeah, I'm unsure if I guess I don't know if the people just didn't care, but aside from that, the protocol, one of the things that I thought of was, I don't know how they would have had a controller figure out how, like, if you do one to failure and then you tell the other one to do sub failure, but you tell them not to count those reps, I feel like I'm still going to count the reps. Like, okay, I did 17 on that leg and that was the failure, so I'm going to do 15 on this leg. But that's not like sub failure, that's just you knowing. Like, I don't know if that was
So you're saying if your legs were to be like of different strength, you wouldn't actually know where to stop. I mean,
yeah. So I think for how I read for the study was structured was it was a like an RPE sub max or to sub failure. But how I would actually think of it, and how some of the athletes that could kind of put a hole in the study would be to actually count the reps and to know where they fail on the other leg, so they know where sub failure is on the other leg versus RPE wise. So that's just another reason why I think the non-matching leg thing is kind of off. But to go into more of the results of the study, it's kind of come up a couple of times for us before. Training sub max is shown to be pretty good, and I think just pulling more from that is, if you're training sub max, I think it's an opportunity to be a little bit more dynamic with training, to stick better with form, because once you start getting to failure, your form is going to get a little wonky because you're just trying to get burn out as much as you can. But I think if it's a better way to give emphasis on, hey, you can still get the benefit of what these training failure is, but you're going to be sub max. And guess what? You can also emphasize on dynamic, maybe being more dynamic, or just keeping your form a little bit better. So I think studies like this show that it's good to dial it back just a little bit when doing resistance training, and how you can incorporate other stuff. And you're not gonna, if anything, it's gonna be better off because of how either be dynamic or you can add another set and get overall more volume, whereas you couldn't have if you were completely going to failure. So it's cool to see how these results can be taken and applied to training and such like that. But and then with our training, in intensity versus volume, I think with the max, when you're going to failure, you're not going to reach as much volume versus if you dial back that intensity a little bit, you can reach a little bit more volume, but in just different ways. So that's all I got on this one, though. Ashley.
So I said training to failure can just put a lot of wear and tear on your body, and then this study just kind of proved that you don't necessarily need to do that. So I found it interesting, if you will, that they had them tell them how many sets that they had done prior to for training their quads. So they asked them, like, hey, how many sets do you normally do when you're training your quads? And then they took that, and then didn't they say they upped the number of sets from there, and then
by like 20% or something?
Yeah.
So they were just trying to grab previous information from their training and then estimate what their potential max would be.
Versus instead of them kind of like putting them through a workout and seeing how many, I don't know. That was.
I agree with you. I think it's that's how like a lot of nutritional studies are done too. That's why people always pick apart nutritional studies, because a lot of them just depend on you like getting information from the subject. So like, hey, what'd you eat last week? I ate a ton of vegetables. And it's like, well, you had broccoli once, if we actually look at it. So yeah, it's hard to get information. I feel like that would be reliable from previous stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And then, yep, like I said, just this shows that you don't need to train to failure in order to get the muscle growth or, your 1 rep max to increase. They saw both of those things increase, not training to failure. So I think this is in a positive category for that. Kyle, what did you have for this?
So yeah, actually the strength gains were just a little bit higher in the non-failure protocol. So they weren't super off, they weren't super different, but the strength gains were a little bit higher in the non-failure. I think that training to failure still has its place. It's not something that you should do often. It's not something that you should do for a long period of time, I don't think. But if nothing else, I think it helps train your mindset. We talk about mindset a lot here. I think being able to push yourself to your absolute limit is something that everybody should be familiar with. I think you should be familiar with what it takes for you to go there and what it takes for you to give absolutely everything you've got. Maybe not just in the gym, but also just in life. Sometimes we're going to run into some things that we need to go all the way with. And if you've never been there before, your mindset's not going to be ready for that. So I think it still has its place, but it's not something that you absolutely need to do in order to maximize hypertrophy or maximize your strength gains or anything like that. I would also say if you are implementing like failure training, like you're going to failure, remember rule number 2, which is don't die. Always be safe in the gym. And to me, it's not worth training to failure and wind up hurting yourself. You know what I mean? So always be safe. If you're going to be going to failure, make sure you've got stuff put in place to keep you from hurting yourself or killing yourself, because that's just not beneficial. So that's all I would say about it. Jerred, which one of us is wrong?
Yeah, let me pick. No, I agree with everything. That was my main point. Kyle, you actually had my main point. Is the training to failure is very much a mindset thing, and but within limits. Like I don't think doing 3 extra reps is necessarily going to train your mental toughness, but it depends on like the exercise, right? If you're doing a bicep curl and you squeeze out 3 more reps, it burns, but it's not really like that crazy. But a 10 rep max back squat and you pump out 2 or 3 more when you think that you couldn't, that's building a little mental fortitude right there. And I do think, that's a big reason we have Meet Yourself Saturday. The whole premise behind Meet Yourself Saturday is to throw the playbook, the training out the window, and once a week for some of our athletes, some people only do it once a month, and that's fine. But you meet yourself, you find out who you are, you have a conversation internally that you can shape and change that conversation, and you're going to become a better version of yourself. So I do think there is a place for hard training, for training to failure, but in your weekly training, let's move away from Meet Yourself Saturday, it might not be necessary. But the one caveat that I wanted to make sure that people realize is this: they were shooting for 1 to 2 reps shy of failure.
Right.
That's still uncomfortable. Okay. That's still unpleasant when you're training. So this isn't just like, oh yeah, I do 5 reps, it was easy, but the science says I don't have to train to failure. That's not what this is saying. This is saying your brain knows. You like, when you're lifting, especially as you gain more experience, you're like, I can do this 2 more times max. And so that's where you would stop. But even when you start to have that conversation in your brain, let's just say the set, if we're talking about strength training, is getting pretty hard, right? If you're like, I can only do 2 more, then you're already starting to have a conversation of like, okay, this is really challenging. So that's where we're talking about stopping. We're not talking about easy versus hard training. We're talking about fairly hard or difficult training versus complete muscle failure, So just, I want to be real clear on that. Now, some of the numbers, and just to talk about the actual difference here, all changes seem to be pretty similar between groups, except for 4.6% and 4.4% greater increase in muscle cross-sectional area and leg press 1 rep max, respectively, both in favor of non-failure training. So it's still marginal, right? Like, we're talking 4%. It's not a huge thing, but there's a lot of benefit to not having to train hard all the time. And it also goes back to mentally. So we talked about how training to failure can, push you and maybe build up a little bit of that mental toughness. But at the same time, training hard every day, going in with that intensity to failure, is going to wear on you. And you can actually tax your CNS to become overtrained. And we talk about this in like the coaching course and everything. There are different types of deloads that we even do. We do central nervous system deloads in our training, and we do volume deloads. Normally, when we do a CNS deloads, those are the times where our athletes are saying, are you sure this is a deload week? It's just because there's still a decent amount of volume, and things are, there's still a lot going on in the training, but we're not pushing you to like 90%, or, we're trying to reduce that load on your central nervous system. And then other times are just volume deloads, where we're just straight up cutting the volume. Everything looks like it's 50, 60%, something not as challenging. And so we do those 2 different types of deloads, but you just have to know there's a fine line in training. You do want to push yourself to some degree, but you don't need to go hard every day to where you're not even motivated. Like, I don't even want to get in there and do that, and you don't want to get to that point. You don't have to get to that point to even see results, and the science agrees. So you don't have to train hard all the time, I guess, is the big takeaway I would have for garage gym athletes on this study. All righty. Today's topic brought to you by Joe Courtney.
Hi, I'm me. So we are talking. This was kind of inspired by last week's episode, and I actually even wrote it down while we were recording last week's episode. But we are going to talk about our favorite ways to kill comfort. These are our actual staple ways to kill comfort, not non-staple.
Oh, I needed to adjust some of my notes here. I thought these were non-staple ways.
We'll cover that in a couple of weeks. the phase 2. So we're just talking about our favorite ways to kill comfort, mental toughness, things like that. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to say weighted carries. And this is definitely something, especially if you're on the strength track and done a lot of our Meet Yourself Saturdays. Weighted carries can be very brutal physically and mentally. And there's definitely it messes with your mind, because you go to pick something up. Say if it's a front rack, like kettlebell front rack carry, we've been doing those, and you pick it up and you hold it and you're like, first 10 seconds, like, man, this is light. I can go forever. And then you hit a wall, and then it's just a steep decline. You're like, holy crap, how I need to set this down right now. And then you're battling yourself to not set it down. Same thing with like the Iron Mile. People will load oh my God, without fail. And everybody who does that workout for the first time is just like caught by surprise, because they think, oh yeah, this, I lift this weight all the time. I'm going to walk out with it. First 100 meters, great. And then they're setting it down all the time and they can't make it back and they don't know what the hell happened to them. So yeah, weighted carries are 100% one of mine. And then other ones would be a long run, but a long run that is going to be an out and back, not just like laps, because in your out and back, you're forced to run backwards. Well, not backwards, actual backwards, but like, you should
You
turn
could.
around, run. Oh, yeah. So
Also,
backwards running,
out,
sure.
out and back is the future name of Meet Yourself Saturday. Come into a garage
Ooh.
gym athlete community near you.
Oh, yeah. I think this one's been in the works for several months because I know
BCT's done it like 4 times.
You've done it a lot.
There were whispers in the bushes. Okay.
Yeah.
Whispers in the bushes.
So
Those were the
Yeah, you
BCT
just-
guys that passed out from it in the
Mhm.
bushes.
there you go. Yeah, he just creeping in. He's like, "Don't do it." Yeah, long runs out, and then well, out and back. I guess that's all I got to say then. More to come.
I just want to hit on that because I agree with you with the out and backs, but what I mentioned I moved to true form running, a lot more true form running, even the hour long zone 2 that we've been doing in BCT. Those are the hardest ones for me to do. An hour long run on a treadmill. Like
Yes.
I have to go out and back for those. Like, so I'm just gonna run 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back. And because the opportunity to quit on a treadmill is just there at all times. Like, oh, well, I could just take a break or stop, and so those thoughts come into my head, and those thoughts don't come into my head when I'm, 4 miles away from my house. I'm like, well, you don't really have any other option. So yeah.
Just another way for you to kill comfort.
Yeah, it's a great
While
way
you're
to
on
kill
the
comfort.
treadmill.
Give
I
me
guess.
an easy way to quit something, and I will start having conversations in my head that I have to flip around.
Yeah, treadmill pretty much trumps that. You're right.
Well, no, it wasn't right or wrong. It was just an observation.
Oh yeah. I don't. Yeah, I'll be experiencing that over the summer because once it gets deathly hot here, I'll have to go. Well, if they don't have the mask,
If the gym's open, yeah.
if it's actually legit open, not just.
He'll be doing jumping jacks in his.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just kidding.
So I'm gonna call on Kyle because I read one of yours and it kind of made me giggle and I want to know more. So Kyle.
Okay. I don't know which one you're talking about, but
He's like, none of these are funny to me.
yeah, this is killing comfort. It's not funny. All right. I would kind of echo Joe's a little bit. I would say odd objects training. So like using a sandbag or using medicine balls or flipping a tire or something like that. It's just it's something to kind of mix things up. And especially like with a sandbag, if you're carrying that thing or you're throwing it around, it likes to move on its own. It's not like a barbell where a barbell just stays rigid. The sandbag will move around on its own. And so just kind of killing comfort that way. I would say washing dishes. So just that's my hard thing that I do every day. I hate it. I did it last night and I was just like, I really hate this. This is the worst.
That's perfect.
But I wash dishes every night. I make the lunches for Hannah and the kids. And I don't hate that part. That's okay. But I wash the dishes first and hate washing dishes.
Doing nice
worst.
things for my family.
But it's like, yeah, I hate doing nice things for, yeah. I'm just saying that's all lumped into my one thing that I do at night. Washing dishes sucks. But I would also say being quiet on purpose. It's like just being silent, turning everything off, getting in a place where, yeah, basically, yeah, put yourself in timeout. Don't have it try to get in a place where you don't have things that you can look at, things that can distract you, but just spend a few minutes just completely quiet. Don't even talk to yourself. Just sit there and just listen to whatever happens around you. And that can get kind of freaky actually, just being quiet, because we don't have much quiet time in these days. Just got so much stuff going on. Also shake up the routine, just specifically with training. Sometimes I'll just try some new music instead of the normal playlist that I play, the heavy stuff. Sometimes I'll play something different, or sometimes I'll just do nothing. I'll take the quiet thing and I'll just not play any music. Sometimes I'll play a podcast instead, but just something because I just kind of found that the same playlist, I'm hearing the same songs over and over again. And so I'm like, well, let's shake this up a little bit. So I'll change music, or I'll just do no music. No music really kind of freaks me out now. Working out with no music is kind of freaky. But that can apply to other things too, like just trying, not just in a training session, but just like try listening to something different that you've never listened to before. Try reading a different kind of book than like a different genre that you don't normally read, or by, you know, an
fantasy.
author or a topic or something like that you wouldn't normally read
Just
about.
taking
or something like
shots.
that.
They're subtle, but
Yeah. I mean, longtime listeners know exactly what's happening. So, and then I would say, just get started, whatever it is. This is what I try to apply this to my dishwashing stuff that I do. Just get started. Like as soon as the thought pops in your head, hey, I don't want to go do that, go do it right then. Just immediately go attack it. And that's going to force you to kill the comfort of putting it off and not doing it. And yeah, so that's what I would say. Which one was the giggle worthy, Joe?
Which one? Oh, so for that one, it was be quiet on purpose, because I was just
Okay.
imagining like somebody coming up on and talking to you, like, sorry,
Oh,
quiet on purpose. So I just think of you
could do
sitting
it that
alone.
way.
Yeah,
that could be a shirt. I'm being quiet on purpose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
That would actually
talk to
really
I'm
help
being
me
quiet on
out
purpose.
in like public, because I'm really good at being quiet in public. Like I don't need to talk to people.
I would say you
the,
probably just have like a good brooding face where people just avoid you anyway in public.
Yeah, except for Salt Biscuits. He locked
Oh, the
eyes
Salt
with
Biscuit
me.
guy.
He locked eyes with me across the room.
he
and
knew you needed some of the insult
yeah,
biscuits.
he was like,
He locked eyes.
he's like, we need to chat.
That's another way to kill comfort. Salt biscuits.
Yeah, we're talking to people.
No, yeah, talk to somebody about them. Have you heard the word about salt biscuits? For the
Okay.
music, I do want to try Disco Wednesdays, inspired by
Disco
yeah.
Wednesdays.
inspired by Tynan.
How about you
You guys
listen to the
didn't-
podcast, Kyle? Goodness gracious.
Man, no homework. Tynan, one of our athletes, for his team, he's a football coach, and he coaches them. And every Wednesday, they put on disco music, and it started from the coach that he was coaching before they took over from. And every Wednesday, him and his team loves it. They get down with disco music, and it's a whole thing. It's Disco Wednesdays.
So you're
Tomorrow's
just
Wednesday.
gonna Disco Wednesday by yourself?
Well, yeah, that's a good way to kill some comfort.
I'm not going to be uncomfortable.
Well, I agree with the washing dishes. I also hate it and do it. And I mean, it's been like 10 years though, and I still hate it. So it's not something you ever get used to. And I don't know, I hate it more now than I used to, obviously, because I have 3 different children and they all use 3 different cups, like 10 different times during the day. So by the end of the day, it's like, how did you guys use every cup and plate we have? And that's a little bit on me. I need to train them better, but I don't have time for that. So I just do extra dishes. That's what I do. But yeah, that's also where you crush some audiobooks. So silver lining there.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley, I think it's finally your turn.
I think I'm waiting in anticipation. I will just piggyback off of your quiet time. Meditation was a way for me to kill comfort because I was very uncomfortable with it the first time I did it. But the nice thing about killing comfort, is you end up something that ends up being uncomfortable can also then become a good habit. So now meditation is just something that I do. I also will piggyback off of the workout stuff. I like to work on things that I'm not good at. So for example, right now I'm terrible at pistols. So I take some time after a training session and I work on my pistol squats. I still like to do handstand stuff, even though we don't do very many handstand push-ups and whatnot. I talked about it before. I like to do some shoulder touches. I like to see how long I can stay off the wall and stay vertical. So just working on things that you're not good at, and then you eventually get better and better at them. I also said chores. Mine is multiple because I also am not a fan of dishes. I'm not in the hate category of dishes. They're just, it's just something I don't like to do, but laundry, and not necessarily the wash or the dry.
It's the fold.
It's the fold and put
Folding.
Oh
up.
yeah.
I wish I had like a magic wand, like Harry Potter style, and all my stuff would fold and put itself up. That would be lovely.
I just can't even believe there's no solution for that. I mean, I know there's services who could do your laundry, but I'm saying like, why can't there be like a dryer that's twice as big? It pushes the clothes over to the next section once they're dry, and somehow this machine folds it for you. Because I mean, we have 3D printers that can print meat and guns. We can't figure out how to like fold my clothes for me. Come on.
Still have to go put them up.
I'm okay with that. That's a small step.
Honestly, I would do laundry all day long, every day.
Oh, sounds like we got a poll for the Garage Athlete group.
If I never
Laundry
had to
dishes.
do dishes again, if I never had to wash dishes again, I would do laundry all day long.
I'm opposite. If I could do dishes and never have to do laundry, that's cool with me.
If it was, so I'm not going to lie, I don't do a lot of laundry, so I'm not even going to pretend. I do my laundry, and I do my laundry to save Emily from having to do just one more person's laundry because she's already doing laundry for 4 people. So I do mine.
Are you listening to this, Scott? Listen to this.
I do my laundry, and I'm also okay because almost everything I wear is a square, some version of a square when I fold it. So I don't mind folding my clothes. But the times that I do
surprised
little children's laundry, so a full basket of my clothes is like, okay, this is going to take me like 5 to 10 minutes max to fold all this. But if you have the same full basket of children's clothes, that could be hours. And when you get into female clothes, none of them are square. I don't even know what to do with half of them.
It's like fitted sheets.
Yeah. It's like, what do I do with this? It's a triangle. Anyway.
Gosh.
I do zero laundry.
Well,
sorry, not sorry.
So the poll is probably going to be like females laundry, men dishes or something.
I don't mind dishes. I mean, I'm somebody that needs a clean sink, so I just gotten to the point where I need to clear out the sink, and I'd rather do the dishes and clean the sink than have dishes in the sink, because it actually would be uncomfortable for me to see dishes in the sink and walk away from them.
That's kind of true.
You need to try that.
Try
catching up on like 2 days of dishes. That might
God, no.
Actually, it'd be like a week for you guys to probably equal 1 day in my household.
I couldn't do it.
So many dishes. I always do them at night, and the kids just like wreak havoc all day, and then I basically handle it at night. That's how it works.
That's my process.
Maybe my approach is off, but I'm not taking 15-minute breaks during the workday just to go do their dishes all like. Anyway, these are some interesting tangents that we have.
Dishes and laundry.
I at first I didn't know if we'd have a lot to talk about, but here we go.
My last one, I said I don't have a sauna because I think that's a great way to kill comfort. We did it with Jerred and Emily, and I remember thinking, okay, I will give myself 5 to 10 minutes and I'm going to get out of here. And we lasted until Jerred's timer that he just randomly set. And I remember being like, oh, that ended up going actually fairly quickly because we talked to each other. But I mean, I think Scott was the worst. Scott really wanted to get out of there. He couldn't even see. He was sweating so bad. He had to keep his...
I haven't seen that before.
Well, Jerred and Emily don't sweat half as much as Scott and I do. Like Scott's sweat was dripping so much that it was splashing onto Emily across from the sauna. But my killing comfort of that version is like cold showers. That's basically what I can do. And I have done cold showers since, I heard Jerred talk about it years ago, and I still hate doing cold showers. It's the worst. I will say Florida cold showers and England cold showers,
very different.
Two different things. So, I'm done. Jerred, what are your...
Well, I'm excited because the coldest showers I've been in probably either New York or North Carolina. They're both very cold. Texas, same. Like summer, you can't really take a cold shower. But next week, it's supposed to be like 4 degrees here in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
At least that's what my weather app is saying. And that's going to be some fun cold shower times right there. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, cold showers are awesome. One thing to add to that. So she mentioned the sauna and the cold shower. If you set a time, like say you want to do a cold shower for 3 minutes, or like we did the sauna for 20 minutes, but do not allow yourself to see the timer. That's going to help. So either set it with your phone and put your phone upside down so you just go until you hear it, or when I do cold shower, I try to do like a minimum 3 minute in the cold shower, and I'll set a timer on my watch but then I won't like allow myself to look at the watch to see how much time is left, because that gives you that little bit of extra motivation. You're like, okay, 45 seconds left. I can do this. No, just be with your thoughts. You don't know if it's a minute left. You don't know if it's 6 seconds left. Like, just hold on and see. I think that's adds to it a little bit.
I've had to do that on the bike. Cover up my timer.
Every
Yeah, I do
time
that
I
when I'm
used to
running.
rowing, I had to do that every time. I had to like put a towel over
Mhm.
it. Something like breaks my brain about rowing. Not on the bike though, not as much. Okay, killing comfort for me is actually three things. It's one thing. It's in the book. It's in the planner. So the KC3, I try and do every single day. So it's the killing comfort 3. It's a habit, and you're going to do one hard thing today. You're going to focus on your one thing and hormesis. So hormesis being, we've talked about on the podcast, anything that stresses your body, puts you under some sort of stress in which your body can compensate to, and you will get better. So that could be a sauna, that could be a cold shower, that could be fasting, that could be training. There are a lot of different ways to perform hormesis, and they're all generally good for you. So that's like my habit that I've been doing for a long time. I'm not perfect on it every day, but I try to do it every single day. Just jot it down. What are those three things going to be? And that's the habit I want, is that KC3 to do every single day. So choosing the hard thing. And a lot of times what's funny about what Kyle said with the dishes is like, sometimes that'll be my hard thing, because I just like won't be in the mood to do it. But I set these things at the start of the day to where like these are the minimums I want to get done, right? Like I could do more, but these are the minimums. So my hard thing, it could be do the dishes today, can't skip it. It could be a lot of different things. Whatever I don't choose one hard thing like currently in my life to focus on for long periods of time. It's more like individualized from when I wake up that morning. If I'm just like not having a good day, I'm like, oh, you know what would really suck? This. And so I put that hard thing down. My one thing is always just a reminder of what my focus is, what my goals are. That could be in training. Like I might just be like, hey, stay focused. You want that 500-pound back squat, 5-minute mile. Like, what's your one thing? Okay, let's be consistent with our training today. Or it could be something business related, or relationships with your family, anything, whatever your one thing currently is. It can really change. And sometimes my one thing it sticks around for a long period of time, because it might be more of like a goal I'm focused on right now. And then hormesis, I do work out, 5 to 6 days per week pretty consistently. And so I don't normally allow hormesis to be my training. I always want some other form of hormesis on a daily basis. And those generally for me fall to fasting or sauna. So those are the two things in my life right now where I try to get one of those things, if not both of them, done every day. So I'll do at least a 16-hour fast or longer, and then hit up the sauna in the evening. So that's how I like to kill comfort. It's my favorite way. The KC3.
Crushed it.
Crushed it.
All right, Joe. Work out.
Time for Broken Arrow.
Speaking of killing comfort.
Yeah, just a little uncomfortable on this one. This is a very long workout, but there are definitely several ways you can scale it, and we can either we'll just see when we decide to interject them. So for time, you're starting off, the buy-in is with a vest, and you're going to do 150 squats, 100 push-ups, and 50 strict pull-ups. No partitioning. So going through those. Then you will, I believe this is when you take the vest off.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know why you would bike with a vest on, but yes. So take the vest off, bike 10 miles, then run 3 miles, then 1,000 double unders. Then cash out is another 150 squats, 100 push-ups, 50 pull-ups, no vest, and no partitioning again. And there are a bunch of scaling levels, whether it's the distances, the reps, and things like that, which are listed when we go through. And then if you do not have a bike, you can row. And if you don't have a bike or a rower, then you'll double the distance on the run. So it's a ton of cardio with some
with Murph thrown in there.
It's just basically, and a lot of double unders.
Yeah, and So it's 50 strict pull-ups the first set of calisthenics, and then the second set of 50 pull-ups you can kip. You don't have to kip. It's just kipping's allowed if that's something that you are proficient at.
Yes.
All right, what tips do we have for this one?
I only have one.
Yes.
Survive.
Survive.
That's it. I got nothing else for you.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, you're not.
You definitely need to have some sort of pace on this. I mean, you definitely should try, but I wasn't so scared about this one, and it wasn't super bad going through it. It didn't really even get to be like really, really uncomfortable until the cash out, and I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just ran out of because I did this fasted, so I think by the time I got to the cash out, I was completely depleted, and on the push-ups into the pull-ups, I got really, really nauseous, and I could barely even finish the pull-ups because I was just so nauseous. But other than that, everything else was fine. Double unders were fun, but
A lot. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like they were hard. It was just like you fatigue from them, no matter how efficient and good you are at them. It was definitely a battle.
Do you do sets of 100?
Yeah, I would do like 100 and then shake it out for 20, 30 seconds, and then get back and do
20
another.
minutes.
Yeah.
A
I'll be
20-minute
back.
break.
Take a 20-minute break.
We'll go take lunch real quick.
Some people need that with double unders, just
Yeah.
from a anger
Heart rate.
standpoint.
Get some Disco Wednesday in
true.
there.
Yeah. So I don't really have much.
I would say warm up your calves if you can. Like if you do what's the walk where you kind of sweep your toes and like actually like point your toe up when you sweep to like warm up your calves. You know what I'm talking about? Did you not do those in soccer or football? I don't know.
You're like Dorsey and
Definitely
plantar
didn't do it
flexion.
in football.
Yeah, you're walking and you go down, so you're warming up your hamstring, but you also pick your toe up, like your
Mhm.
heel, and then you walk a couple, and then you switch feet.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're
Oh,
talking
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And none of us will remember the name, but we know what you're talking
Yeah, exactly.
about. Nobody else does on the podcast, but the three of us do.
We got it.
The thing with the leg, and you do with the calf, and then you're going.
Yeah.
And you do
Yeah, then you're thinking
Yeah.
with the leg and the calf. Yeah, warm your calves up. Your calves are going to be, well, the first time I ever did this, I was supposed to sing at church and I was walking so funny up on stage. Like it was terrible. But I said, giddy up. This bad boy is a long one. So I kind of agree with Joe. Like you have to set a good pace, but at the same time, just don't stop. Just keep moving. Don't stop. I did it with a rower because I don't have a bike. So your butt's gonna go a little numb, and that's okay. Just keep going. It's a long time to be on a rower. And then for the jams, I said all the jams, whatever it takes to motivate you to get you through this
All
one,
the
like
jams.
just
All the
anything.
jams.
You can just
Jellies and
rotate.
Jars and jars.
Y'all are ridiculous. Okay. I'm done.
Just keeping your glycogen level up. You know what I mean?
Look, it's like
Jars
carb
and
rinsing.
jars.
It's like carb rinsing. You're just taking a spoonful of jam.
All the tunes.
got a run
all
coming
the
up.
tunes. If someone eats jelly, it's y'all's fault.
Get some chokeberry jam.
They will thank us. Chokeberry, yeah.
Get it from
So
Chris
fun.
Morgan.
Yeah. Chokeberry, Minnesota, the Chokeberry state.
Yeah. Okay, my tips on this one. I actually think that you should try carb rinsing during this workout. This would be a good one to test it out, see if it works for you, because like Kyle just mentioned, glycogen, this will be a workout where you will probably run out of your sugar stores. You might run out of
Surely.
that. And if and when that happens, you could hit a wall, and that would be a great time to practice carb rinsing. Just see if it works for you. If it doesn't, then just drink the carb drink, and that'll work. Normally, drinking sugar normally works. So try that out. Other than that, tips I have for this one, I actually, because I got the true form now, I can do this whole thing in my garage, which is cool.
That's
But
nice.
my recommendation is don't do that. Like, I don't even think I will do that the next time I do this workout because of what Joe kind of mentioned with the killing comfort. Like, I would rather bike out 5 miles and then like come back to my house, drop the bike off, run out 1.5 miles, and then come back than just do those things right there in the garage. So I would challenge everyone to do the same. And the biggest tip, I think, is just know where you're at on the levels. There's, you know, you can pace this, do whatever you want, but it is a lot of volume and a lot of time. And if you're not really at that competitor level, you shouldn't be messing with the ridiculous workout. You know, it's really long. So choose the appropriate sub for you and what you think you can do. And then if you're like, hey, that wasn't that bad, maybe you can go level up that next time you want to try it. But good on Dominic Decker for doing this every
True.
month.
Freaking beast, man.
I would love to. I might just do that. I might join him in that once a month thing. Once a week. I don't know if I have the time for it. And then this workout's out the window if you're traveling, right? Like you just can't find.
Didn't you and Marco do this once a week at some point when y'all were training?
Oh yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
That was like a mini version.
Oh, I thought it was full up.
No, it could have been. I actually don't remember. It was something.
I might not join you in doing that once a month.
I love that Jerred is like, oh, someone's going to do something hard. Okay, I'm going to join too. It's going to be great.
I've done the Murph thing twice, and no matter how much everyone talks about it in the group, and sometimes it comes up, it's like, why don't you just do it again? I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it again. But I'm okay with doing like hard things. I don't want to do that workout 52 times, you know, again or more. And so this one, which is basically a Murph, so I don't know why it's that much different in my brain.
Like,
but
what? It's a longer Murph.
It's a Murph with more, but it's just a different challenge. You know, it's something else to tackle. So Dominic, I might join you.
Uh-oh.
All right. Well, that is the workout. And if you would like to get this programming delivered to your smartphone and email and anything else.
Not your door.
Not your door. Delivered to your door.
We don't snail mail it.
Actually, we're running a special promotion. If you sign up for a 14-day free trial today, send verification via support@indie3fitness.com. Joe will arrive at your doorstep and hand deliver your programming printed on a piece of concrete.
Circa 2022.
Okay.
Dressed in a disco outfit.
Yeah.
Playing disco music.
Anything else to add?
All right. So, I love volunteering Joe for stuff. So, honestly, if you're not a part of the training, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Go to garagegymathlete.com, fix the problem, join our training, try it out for 2 weeks. Now, if you are a part of the community, I said it once, I'll say it again. Community is the best part. And it's all those who are listening right now, the Dominic Deckers that I mentioned, those guys and gals who are doing awesome things and pushing each other and being positive in our community. Just keep it going. And so thank you for everyone, because the majority of the people who listen to this are in the community, and we appreciate each and every single one of you. And, you know, thanks for sticking around with our training. But
hashtag only sponsor
the community. But that's it for this week, guys. We're out. Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.